Hey everyone. So you want to launch a career in tech, right? Well, let me tell you, cloud computing is absolutely where it's at. Today, we're going to break down the perfect, and I mean perfect, starting point, the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification.
So you've probably been hearing all this buzz about the cloud, but you're maybe thinking, where do I even start? If that's you, you are in exactly the right place. I mean, this industry is exploding, and finding that perfect on-ramp is, well, it's everything.
I love this way of putting it. It's not some super intimidating, expert-level exam that's designed to scare you off. No, it's exactly what you see here, your official welcome badge. It's your ticket into the whole AWS universe. All right, so let's really dive in. We're talking about your Cloud Launchpad, the CCP. The AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner, or CCP, as you'll hear it called, is seriously the perfect way to blast off if you're new to this whole cloud thing.
Okay, pay close attention to the key phrase here, foundational understanding. This is super important. This cert is not about being a coding genius or knowing how to do crazy complex server setups. Not at all. It's about learning to speak the language of the cloud. It's about getting to a point where you really get what AWS is, what it can do, and why it's so valuable to businesses. So what does this exam actually prove you know? Well, it boils down to these four big areas. First, you've got the core cloud concepts, the what and why of cloud. Then, super important, security and compliance. You'll also get a handle on the actual tech and the massive global infrastructure that makes AWS work. And finally, you'll understand how the money works, the billing and pricing models, which, trust me, is a huge deal. Okay, time for the big question that when you're probably asking yourself right now, is this thing actually for you? Let's figure out if this is the right move for your career. Take a look at this list. Do you see yourself here? If you're totally new to cloud computing, check. A student or recent grad? Perfect. But it's not just for tech beginners. Are you in a non-technical role like sales, marketing, or project management? This is huge for you because you'll finally be able to talk the talk with the tech teams. Or maybe you're already an IT pro, but you're looking to make that pivot into the cloud. If you're nodding along to any of these, then yep, this is for you.
And hey, let's talk about something we all care about, money. Even though this is an entry-level cert, check this out. Getting it can lead to a 10 to 15% bump in your pay, on average. I mean, that's a pretty clear signal to employers that you're serious about this stuff.
But it's not just about a potential pay bump. The other benefits are just as strategic. First, it gives you that rock-solid foundation you can build your whole career on. Second, and this is a big one, it helps your resume sail right past those automated HR filters that are looking for keywords. It's also your first step on the ladder to more advanced certs, like the Solutions Architect. And at the end of the day, it's an industry-recognized stamp of approval on your skills. All right, so hopefully you're thinking, okay, I'm in. So now let's get down to brass tacks and break down what the exam actually looks like. So here are the vital stats. You've got 90 minutes to tackle 65 questions. But here's an interesting little tidbit. Only 50 of those questions are actually scored. The other 15 are just there for AWS to test out new questions. You need a 700 out of 1,000 to pass. And the cost? Just $100. For a tech certification, that is an incredibly accessible price point. Okay, this chart right here, this is basically your study cheat sheet. Look at where you need to focus your energy. Technology, that's knowing the actual AWS services, is the biggest slice of the pie, about a third of the exam. Right after that, you've got cloud concepts and security and compliance, each making up about a quarter of the test. Seriously, if you nail these top three areas, you've already covered more than 80% of what you need to know. Billing and pricing is important, but it's a smaller piece.
Now, it's always good to know the competition, right? So how does the AWS cert stack up against Azure and Google's entry-level certs? Well, they each kind of have their own flavor. AWS is very focused on its specific products and services, and remember, they have the biggest market share. Azure Fundamentals is great if you're in a big company that already uses a ton of Microsoft stuff like Office 365. And Google's Cloud Digital Leader is a bit different. It's more about using the cloud to solve business problems with a big focus on data and AI.
Okay, so we've covered what the CCP is and why you should care. Now for the most important part. How do you actually pass this thing? Let's talk strategy. This right here is the classic proven game plan. It works. Step 1. Always start with the official exam guide from AWS. That's your blueprint. Step 2, dive into some online courses. There are great ones on AWS Skill Builder or Udemy. Step 3, and don't skip this,
Get your hands dirty. Use the AWS free tier to actually play around with the services. And finally, step 4. Take a bunch of practice exams. They're the best way to figure out what you still need to work on. It's a solid plan, for sure.
But let's be honest, that traditional path can take a lot of time. So it begs the question, is there a smarter way to do this? A way to make your study time way more efficient and targeted?
And the answer is yes. This is where modern AI-powered tools are really changing the game. I'm talking about platforms like FlashGenius, which uses artificial intelligence to create a study experience that's way more guided and interactive.
So what's the big difference? Well, look at this. Traditional tools just throw a giant bank of questions at you. But an AI tool like this, it's completely different. It builds a personalized learning path for you. It uses AI to give you a smart review when you get something wrong. It even has a database of common mistakes other people make so you can learn from them. It's about actually learning the material, not just trying to memorize hundreds of answers.
And just think about what that means for how you study. The AI Smart Review doesn't just say you're wrong. It explains why, so you don't make that same mistake again. You can even learn from the mistakes thousands of other students have made. Need to study in a different language? It has support for 9 of them. And it even has tools like a Pomodoro timer built right in to keep you focused. It's all about making every single minute you study as effective as possible.
And really, that brings us back to the most important point. The goal here isn't just to pass an exam. The real goal is to build a foundation of knowledge that's going to help you succeed in your actual career. That's the huge difference between just memorizing facts and truly understanding the concepts.
So, if you're ready to level up and take that first step, maybe think about trying an AI-powered approach. You can even start a free trial of FlashGenius and see for yourself if it's the right fit for you.
So there you have it, your guide to the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification. But remember, getting the cert, that's just opening the door. The really exciting part, the real question is, once you have these skills, what are you going to build? The possibilities are endless. Thanks for watching.